Hello, my name is Jonathan from AFK TV, and I am with Liquid TLO. Hello, TLO. How do you feel?
I'm feeling pretty good. Just won my open bracket, so I'm gonna be playing in group stage tomorrow, which I'm happy about.
Nice. How do you like it here in Poland?
I really like it. Everybody's really friendly. In general, I think East Europe is pretty cool to go to. I'm enjoying every event when I'm in East Europe so far. Bucharest was great too, at DreamHack, and I think the fans in East Europe are pretty passionate. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. Are pretty passionate about the game. The crowds are always pretty active, which is cool.
Nice. And for those of us watching that don't know who you are and what you play, could you please tell us a few words about yourself and what you do?
My nickname is TLO. I play for Team Liquid as a StarCraft 2 professional, which is an RTS, a real-time strategy game, and I'm traveling all over the world playing video games, which is pretty awesome.
You're known in the community as a very nice, kind and handsome individual, as well as a gentleman and scholar in the game of StarCraft. There are many players that have a lot of accomplishments in the game, but you are one of the most known. What do you think is what factor is responsible for you being so famous and loved in the community?
I wonder that too myself sometimes, but I try to put myself out there. I'm always active in the community, even when I'm not playing or performing. I'm trying to cast, I'm trying to give advice and just give back to the community a little bit of content here and there from time to time. And I just really love the game, and I think people feel that and appreciate that I'm so passionate about StarCraft 2. And even when I have a lot of downs, people just realize that I really want to make it to the top, no matter how painful it is. And that's why I never give up, and I think that's what people like.
Nice. And a little bit more in-depth now StarCraft discussion. What do you think about Heart of the Swarm, the upcoming expansion pack for StarCraft 2?
I think it's going to be really, really good compared to Wings of Liberty. I feel like Wings of Liberty has become a little bit stale lately. The game is pretty figured out, and the whole meta game has become a little bit boring in my opinion. And Heart of the Swarm is just gonna kick in and give us much more options again, new build orders, really cool new units, and it's not gonna come down to like Infestor, Brute Lord, end game compositions so much, but there's gonna be much more movement and positioning on the map. And in general, I think Heart of the Swarm is really taking the right direction game design-wise. The balance obviously is still gonna need a lot of work, but the approach is really, really good.
Okay, and another StarCraft-related question. You used to play random, you used to play Terran as well. I've always had a tremendous respect for random players because, you know, obviously you have to know how to play all of the races. Was that hard for you, making so many switches, and how did you manage to not have your level degrade while you were doing all these changes?
Well, I think my level did degrade, which was one of the problems.
Wow, Carmack just threw a beanbag at us. Carmack, how could you do that?
Well, I think my level did always suffer when I switched races, and then I needed some time to recover my level again. But I learned a lot because I saw the game from different perspectives, and overall that helped me understand RTS in a better way. And in long terms, I think it was a good thing to do.
So it actually benefited you rather than hindered you in your long-term understanding and skill in the game?
Yeah, short-term and mid-term it was bad, but long-term I think it was pretty okay to do that.
So TLO, for me and the rest of our Zerg fans, can we be secure in the belief that you will remain one of us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna stick with Zerg. Heart of the Swarm is gonna be really cool for Zerg. It's gonna be much more fast-paced, not so much about Infestor, Brute Lord as I said, and there's absolutely no reason for me to switch away again, because actually the way Heart of the Swarm is gonna work comes much more towards my style, and yeah, that's why I'm just gonna stay Zerg and not gonna switch again.
Nice. And another question. I saw you earlier in the player area practicing at a very weird flash game. You were training your fingers, and it was just like an LSD trip on your screen. To me, it gives me a big sense of respect for you that you very diligently practice and train your fingers even in between games. What other awesome, cool things do you do that make you stay in shape and perform at the top of the top?
Well, basically, I try to put in like half an hour a day of cognitive training, just math questions and spatial awareness, and trying to increase my peripheral view and all that, and keep my fingers flexible and fast. So I'm practicing a few flash games, some cognitive training, stretching a lot, and just trying overall to be in a healthy state of mind and body.
Nice. And how about Dario Wunsch, not TLO? What do you like to do in your personal life? Do you have any hobbies, and do you have time for them with all this practicing and training for your StarCraft matches?
I like to be outside a lot. I love cycling, which is not that great when it's winter, because I don't like cycling in winter, but when it's getting a better weather again, I'm going to be outside much more again. I love reading, which is great because I'm traveling a lot, and when you travel you can spend all the time reading and not wasting any practice time while doing so. I love science fiction and fantasy, but also just all kinds of genres. Yeah, what else I'm doing is pretty normal stuff young people do. I like to go to parties and to pubs and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty culturally interested. When I'm in a city, I try to go to museums and look at stuff like that. And if I find the time, I wish I could be politically more active, but pro gaming has made that pretty hard. I try to keep myself informed, but it's been a while that I've been on a demonstration or something. But that's something I would like to do more again.
That's very admirable. What is advice that you could give to some of our viewers who probably want to get into StarCraft and to develop themselves as professional gamers?
It all comes down to really hard work. If you want to become a professional player, breaking into the scene is probably the hardest part about it, because once you develop, you're gonna get invited to tournaments. If you're in an established team, they're paying for you to go to tournaments and stuff like that. But breaking through is really hard because you have to make yourself known, and the only way you can get known is by winning online tournaments or attending open brackets of tournaments, which is really hard. And you have to work harder than programmers almost, who are already established, because you still have to increase in your skills so much. And just do a lot of sport, eat and live healthy, have a regular schedule, and well, obviously if you're not a programmer, you probably have a lot of other stuff to do, like school and university, so you should probably try not to let that slip, but find a good balance in your life.
Alright, that is advice for you, people who want to become as good and awesome and handsome as TLO. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to ask you is you've had a few, I won't call them slumps, but decreases in performance a couple of times because of you switching races. I also remember you had an injury once that disabled you for a short time in terms of performance in tournaments. What was the factor that made you pick up your strength back up again? Was it just your will and your hard work, or was there any external influence like fans cheering you on, writing you positive messages and such?
There are a lot of people who are helping me out these days. I think the most important part about it was getting back into sync with my team, friends and family. For the longest time I was just trying to do everything on my own. I was kinda yeah, because of all the travel and becoming famous, I was kinda choosing a path of solitude. And that was very hard because it felt like I'm all alone, even though I had a lot of people who wanted to help me, but I didn't let them. And nowadays my brothers and best friends and lots of people around Team Liquid are supporting me, and I let them help me. And ever since then I think I've become much more stable, because if you want to succeed at anything, most of the time it's teamwork that it gets you somewhere, and that's probably the biggest lesson I learned over the past year.
So that would, I guess, probably also be part of your advice to people who want to get into that, is to not shut themselves in a room, a dark room with the monitor and become a lone wolf, but rather get involved with people as well and not just be into this one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell people to try to be diverse. There's so much you can learn from other fields and other people. The worst thing you can get is like a tunnel vision, where you only see one thing and then you're not going to be successful. But if you can see the big picture, you're going to be happier and more successful.
What's your happiest and most memorable best moment of your esports career?
Well, one of my favorites probably is just becoming part of Team Liquid, because that's what I always dreamed to be of. And when Hero won DreamHack Winter for the first time, it was extremely emotional moment. The entire team rushed up to the stage, everybody was so happy, Hero had tears in his eyes, we had a full stadium full of people cheering him on, and I want to have that moment for myself. I want to win like on the big stage like Hero did there, and have everybody just be emotional, and that's what I'm looking forward to most. I think I didn't have my big moment yet. I'm still waiting for it to come.
I really wish you get that moment, because you certainly deserve it, TLO.
Thank you.
And as a finisher for this wonderful interview that you let me take from you, could you tell us what you want to tell your fans and what you want them to know that they can expect from you in the future?
Well, I'm not gonna stop training hard. I'm just gonna keep going, and you can expect me to do really well in Heart of the Swarm. I'm extremely confident that game is gonna play entirely into my hands, and now that Heart of Swarm is gonna kick off soon, I'm not gonna play less but more. That's a promise.
Dario Wunsch, Liquid TLO, everybody. Thank you, TLO.
No problem. Thank you.
И така, видяхте моят поданник, Джонката, туроператора на AFK TV, който успя да вземе това прекрасно интервю от TLO. Както виждате и тук до мен е Коцето, баш ми е драго, който тази вечер, какво ще гледаме, Коце, освен след като коментираме интервюто с TLO?
Значи вчера се проведе първата квалификация на SLA Game Ninja. Да,
то е прекрасен турнир с тия безбожни награди.
Да, много хубави награди, и изиграха се всички игри до самия финал. Като днес ще видим финала, който е между NoThx и Бате Тошко. Двама грандмастери, много солидни български играчи, така че със сигурност ще бъде доста интересно.
Добре. После ще питам дали нашите играчи ще свичнат активно към Heart of the Swarm, но първо нека коментираме TLO. Видяхме този симпатяга, един брилянтен акцент, има немски такъв на английски. Да, ти какво ще кажеш за него? Това ли е облика на StarCraft 2 играчите? Умерени, интелигентни, емоционални?
Ами от това, което аз съм гледал като интервюта от играчи, всичките повечето са така по-скромни, съвсем обикновени хора, забавляват се с компютърните игри, в крайна сметка се дигат такова ниво, че си изкарват прехраната от това.
Супер, какво ще кажеш за Джонката? Доста добър английски вкара.
Разбира се, страхотен акцент. Много приятно интервю. Много се радвам, че са успяли да заснемат такива неща. Много е готино. Ще се надявам и за бъдеще да има отразяване на такива събития.
Да, очаквайте още интересни неща от AFK TV, обвързани с Катовице.
Така.
Хубаво, направо да те почвам сега за това, какво че гледаме в eSport частта на AFK TV, и то само след броени минути. Финал за Game Ninja, първият турнир Game Ninja. Кажи, тъй като аз не съм имал такова дълбоко наблюдение на BG сцената StarCraft 2, кажи ми, NoThx беше един играч, който беше доста силен в един период, когато играе за отбор на HardRBG. После дойдоха някакви предложения от международни отбори.
Да, игра в Гейм D, един немски отбор, който му предложи там някакви пари, разбира се. Иначе в сърцето си той остана в HardRBG.
Да.
И последствие мисля, че се разпадна отбора или той отпадна от него, не съм сигурен. Мисля, че по-скоро той там си прекрати взаимоотношенията. Сега, доколкото знам, е без отбор, така че ако има...
Да, ако има желаящи, могат да го присмучат.
Привикат, да. NoThx е много солиден играч. Наистина той тренира много е постоянен.
Да, в тази връзка исках да те питам, тъй като аз точно тогава загубих връзката и тогава вече се появиха Бате Тошко, Giant, изскочиха много напред. Появиха се и други играчи, които така загатаха за потенциал и NoThx като че ли по-му допадна да е до тебе, защото до тебе наистина много приятно да коментираш StarCraft и вече това е някаква традиция. И аз затова те питам. Явно той е продължи да се занимава сериозно.
Не, NoThx си джитка много сериозно, именно това, че много добре познава играта и така на мен ми помага с неговия коментар, тъй като той наистина много сериозни наблюдения има над играта, много голям опит. Играл е Warcraft 3 преди, от Warcraft 3 идва той. Така че има много богат RTS бекграунд и определено има какво да се види от NoThx и да се чуе.
Да, и да се чуе, което е много рядко се случва при играчите. Но, нали, аз съм типичен пример, много добре играя Бате и много добре коментирам Counter-Strike. Така, какво да правиш? Други играчи няма какво да коментираме, Бате Тошко, стабилен зерк.
Победителя на OnFest 2. Смисъл, много е добър Бате Тошко и именно с това прави впечатление на повечето хора, че той не играе много игри, така, разбира се, поддържа си нивото, не е като да не е постоянен, но не масира много игри и постига много добри резултати. Въпреки това...
Явно има талант, не е доразвит.
Определено таланта му в играта се личи. Ще видим какво ще покаже.
Да, ти някаква прогноза имаш ли?
Ами често казано...
Тук е много завързано според мен.
Завързано е.
Не е като предишните, където сме ги гледали.
Ще се радвам да си изиграят и 5-те игри, тъй като е Best of 5. Не знам, ще се радвам, ако резултат свърши 3-2 за някой от двамата играчи.
Добре, а какви са наградите за Game Ninja за StarCraft 2, имаш ли?
Да, значи на първо място е един монитор на Alienware, който е много готин, мисля, че към 800 лева струва, така че е доста солиден монитор. На второто място са едни слушалки, които също така са доста солидни. И за третото място мисля, че има някаква тениска, така утешителна.
Добре, а Giant къде е цялата картинка?
Ами това се питат много хора, които... Ами може би има сесия момчето, не знам лично и аз не съм го чувал, но така последните 20 дена наистина го няма и не стримва и не играе. В смисъл хората, които джиткат онлайн, казват, че не го срещат.
Ясно, ами явно дано всичко да е наред при него, но предполагам, че е наред, но просто той си, както е сериозен в играта, така е сериозен в училище, може би това е.
Той играе в един турнир словенски, ако не се лъжа, и видях, че си изиграл мачовете там, всичките даже си ги е спечелил. Така че може би има сесия и не отделя време много за StarCraft, но все пак...
Ма той си спечели и монитор, че аз също го дадох, тъй че не му трябва второ, макар че Alienware си заслужава.
Това ще има и още една квалификация другата седмица.
Да, най-вероятно ще видим Giant там.
Ще видим там, да.
Да, добре. Това, което е изненадата за зрителите тази неделя в AFK TV, че за съжаление ще ви лиши от моя прекрасен и професионален коментар относно StarCraft 2 и тук до котото ще се стане една интересна личност, която аз лично не познавам, но съм сигурен, че след като е заслужила да бъде тук, определено е доста веща в StarCraft 2.
BalancG е това. Много солиден български протос, стана трети на OnFest. Мисля, че всички са, които са гледали моите предавания по моя стрим, са го чували коментара му. Много добре е запознат с играта, много солиден. Сега в последно време малко слаква и той сесия има.
Всички са така.
Но определено така има какво да се чува от него. Ще бъде удоволствие за мен да коментирам с него.
Супер! Това беше всичко от AFK TV относно игрите извън и спорта. Сега, тепърва, ни предстои една доста сериозна StarCraft 2 сесия.
Да.
Коментирана от BalancG NoThx. Тях няма какво да се съмняваме в техните способности. Още по-малко да се съмняваме в тези на двамата финалисти, а именно NoThx и Бате Тошко. Бейт Тошко, дет му вика. Да. Затова аз ви казвам чао. Ще се видим отново следващата неделя, а ви останете с StarCraft 2, Коцето, BalancG и много зерглини, надявам се.